What we need is not more medications, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. Hello and welcome to Exposé with Tony Akinyemi this beautiful Monday evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you are from around the world. It's my pleasure to be your host again today as we continue our series on your food and your health, paying particular attention to fruits and particularly berries, very nutritious berries. So far, we have considered 7 different types of berries. Again, don't forget that we have the botanical definition of berries, and we have the layman's definition of berries. Some of the fruits that are regarded as berries are actually not berries by botanical definition, but in layman's language, we still call them berries. And there are some that are actually berries based on the classical definition of berries, but we don't call them berries. For example, we don't call tomatoes, cucumbers, bananas berries, but then they are berries according to botanical definition. But then we're looking at those berries that are naturally referred to in our day-to-day conversation as berries. Whether they are true berries or not is inconsequential here, it's immaterial, okay? We're looking at them as berries in everyday layman's language, and we have looked at 7. Today, we'll be starting with the 8th one, and if time permits, we might look at 2 or 3 of the different types of berries. Of the berries that we have talked about, some of them are not very popular, some are very popular. Whether they are popular or not popular, what matters is what nutritional value do they offer and what medicinal value do they bring to the table. And so today, let's go to the next berry, nutritious berry number 8, and that is cranberries. Again, cranberries are very popular. Now, cranberry uniquely protects particularly the urinary tract and the stomach lining of the human body from invasions by opportunistic bacteria and viruses such as E. coli and H. pylori, Helicobacter pylori, the bacterium responsible for causing peptic ulcer disease. So cranberry protects the urinary tract as well as the stomach lining. So if you have infections in the stomach with H. pylori, or you have E. coli infection in your urinary tract, cranberry is a good berry to help to mitigate that. Cranberry also supports a healthy mouth environment, your buccal cavity, with its proven antibacterial and antimicrobial activities. I believe that everyone who shares toilets in public places with others should take cranberry as a regular supplement or cranberry fruit regularly to protect the body against toilet infections. Now, cranberry juice may be too dilute to offer any serious benefits, but when you get the cranberry fruits themselves, or you buy them in form of concentrated supplements, that is when you get the potency needed to address both E. coli and H. pylori. Okay? Now, additionally, cranberry is packed with important phytonutrients as well as antioxidants or antioxidants, as the case may be. Now, in one of his recent newsletters that was released precisely on June 22, 2012, that will be a little over 12 years ago by this time, okay, Dr. Robert J. Rowan, a medical doctor, wrote on why men should eat plenty of cranberries regularly as follows. He says, number 1, and I quote him, "We've known for decades that cranberries are great for the health of your urinary tract. But we are now learning that they are good for your prostate as well. Again, don't forget that I have said earlier that all red fruits are beneficial to the prostate. Okay? Tomatoes, pomegranates, watermelon, and now we are adding cranberries to the list, according to Robert J. Rowan, medical doctor. They are good for your prostate. Again, Dr. Robert J. Rowan, medical doctor, also says, and I quote, in a recent study, researchers followed 42 men with lower urinary tract disease. This disease puts men at risk for prostate disease. Now, the men also had an elevated PSA and confirmed non-bacterial prostatitis. The researchers assigned the men to take either a supplement with 1,500 milligrams per day of dried powdered cranberries or a placebo. And the researchers followed the men for 6 months and then evaluated them with the International Prostate Symptom Score. And this test evaluates the quality of life, urination parameters, average urine flow, total volume of urine, and post-void residual volume. And wouldn't you know it, they had significant improvement. There was no improvement in the control group. Okay, let me try to explain what Dr. Rowan is saying here. He said in a recent study, 42 men that had lower urinary tract disease were followed by researchers. And they put these men that have this lower urinary tract disease are at higher risk of developing prostate disease down the line if they don't deal with that situation. Because these men already are exhibiting elevated PSA and they have confirmed non-bacterial prostatitis. So what is PSA? PSA is prostate-specific antigen. It's a blood test. They collect a blood sample from a man, they take it to the lab, and then they check for a particular antigen in the blood of that person that is prostate-specific. In other words, it is the prostate gland that releases those antigens into the bloodstream. The higher the amount of this prostate-specific antigen that is in the blood, the higher the suspicion or the risk of the person developing prostate problems, particularly prostate cancer. Okay? Now, the normal prostate PSA reading for men is put at between 0 and 4. If you go for your annual medical checkup as a man and you ask for PSA test, I expect every man to do that at least once a year. And if you're maybe 60 and above, maybe twice a year. PSA test, simple test. You just draw your blood and run the test for you. Make sure you abstain from sexual intimacy for about 3 days before you do the test, okay, so that you can have a very accurate reading. Because if a man just had sexual intimacy and the next moment he goes for PSA test, his PSA may be elevated, and that will be false reading, okay? All right, false positive, they say. Now, so when you do your PSA test, your score must be below 4. Of course, now they have age-dependent ranges. They say people who are maybe in their 60s, in their 70s can even have it up to 5 or 6, okay? But let's assume 0 to 4 as the normal range. Anything between 5 and 10 makes it suspicious. Anything above 10 is highly, highly probable that the person has prostate enlargement or prostate cancer. Okay, now, so these 42 men that were followed that had lower urinary tract disease and elevated PSA, and they also were confirmed to have non-bacterial prostatitis. What is prostatitis? Prostatitis is inflammation of the prostate gland, and that can be caused by many things. The inflammation can be caused by chemicals, by toxins, by infections, bacterial infection or viral infection. Any kind of infection can cause the prostate gland to become inflamed. Now, when the prostate gland is inflamed, that is prostatitis. So these men, 42 men, had elevated PSA and they have inflamed prostate that was not caused by bacterial infection, which means the inflammation was caused by non-microbial agents, so to speak. And now they assigned the men, these 42 men, some of them, to take a supplement that has 1,500 milligrams per day of dried powdered cranberries. And then another group to take a placebo. A placebo is maybe just a sugar pill, nothing inside, no active ingredient. Now, maybe 42 of them divided into two groups of 21, 21. 21 of them, I'm just using hypothetical division. I don't know how many were in each group because they didn't state that in the study report. But there were 42 of them. They divided them into two groups, so I assume 21, 21 in each group. And they gave one group 1,500 milligrams per day of dried powdered cranberries. And then the other group, 21 men, were given a placebo, just a sugar pill with nothing inside, no active ingredient inside. And then they followed these men for 6 months. And after 6 months, they evaluated them with the parameters stipulated by the International Prostate Symptom Score. And what does this International Prostate Symptom Score do? It evaluates men based on the quality of their lives, their quality of life, on their urination parameters. Are they able to urinate freely or they have difficulty in urination? And then the average flow of their urine. How well does urine flow when they are urinating? Does it flow very, very well? Is it able to, if they concentrate their urine on the ground, on the soil, can it dig a hole in the ground? How forceful is the flow? Or is it weak flow? That's the average flow. Then the total volume of urine that they're able to eliminate per time, and post-void residual volume. Now, when the bladder is filled with urine, okay, and a man goes to urinate, quite often when they have prostate enlargement or prostate cancer, they are not able to eliminate all the urine in their bladder. Maybe only half of the urine comes out. Then they retain urine. The remaining one is retained in the bladder. And then you can now scan to check and see the volume of urine retention after a person has gone to urinate. That's called post-void residual volume. So they used all those parameters to evaluate these 42 men. And guess what? Those who were taking cranberries had significant improvements in their symptoms and all these parameters, but they didn't see any improvement at all in those who were in the placebo group. So Dr. Robert J. Rowan, medical doctor, now said, and I quote him, he says, "I think berries are one of the best foods you can eat. I have repeatedly written about all of them. Here we see that cranberries, well known for their benefit in urinary tract infections, might also help your prostate. If cranberries help wipe out urinary tract infections, it's reasonable that they will help your prostate as well, as it's directly plumbed to your urinary tract." Okay? And Dr. Rowan also says, what's more, the men in this study saw their PSA drop as well. To me, that's huge. You may know that I don't care for the PSA as a test for cancer. That's Dr. Rowan speaking. And he says, by the time you have cancer, it's too late for conventional intervention, according to him. But the PSA can be a useful test as a marker for inflammation. Inflammation can degenerate to cancer. So if cranberries are able to help lower your PSA, I think it's a huge finding, unquote. Now, Dr. Rowan also says you will have to take a standalone cranberry supplement to reach the 1,500 milligrams per day of dried powder used in this study. You can find cranberry products, in this dosage that are readily available in health stores and even online. See, yours for better health and medical freedom, according to Robert J. Rowan, medical director. Now, I always recommend regularly, again, cranberry capsules to those who are dealing with UTI, whether male or female, okay? Now, like I said earlier, cranberry juice is too dilute. And so the concentration of the active ingredient, which is D-mannose, the active ingredient in cranberry that is helping with UTI and H. pylori infection, is called D-mannose. D, capital D, dash, M-A-N-N-O-S-E, D-mannose. That is what normally deactivates the bacteria that infect both the stomach and the urinary tract. All right, so in cranberry juice, little or no benefits. But when you take cranberries themselves, the fruits, or the concentrate in capsules, then you derive these benefits for yourself. Now, we also have elderberry. That is berry, nutritious berry number 9, elderberry. Elderberries contain pigments, organic pigments that are very useful as medicinal, agents. They also contain amino acids. They contain carotenoids. They contain tannins. They contain flavonoids. They have sugar. They have rutin, vibonic acid, vitamin A, vitamin B, and of course, they also contain a large amount of vitamin C. And they are also mildly laxative. In other words, they can help you, to have regular bowel movement. They are mildly diuretic. They can help you to form urine and urinate very properly. That's elderberries. They're also rich in antioxidants. They're also diaphoretic. In other words, they have the power to increase your sweating. Elderberries also are immune boosting and anti-inflammatory. And they are also a form of herbal antiviral agent. Now, flavonoids, including quercetin, are believed to account for the therapeutic actions of the elderberry flowers and berries. Now, the flavonoids found in elderberry include anthocyanins as well, just like in aceberries and the other berries we have mentioned before, and probably the most powerful antioxidant known to mankind for preventing cell damage that is caused by poor diet and environmental pollution and stress. We're going to go on a short break. When we come back, our conversation on elderberry in particular will continue, and we'll begin to see the nutritional and the medicinal benefits that this wonderful berry, nutritious berry number 9, brings to the table. Don't go away. I'll be back shortly after this break.
In the depths of our darkest nights, where shadows loom and hope seems lost, there's a whisper of a promise. A promise of life, of freedom, of love. Life that overflows with purpose and joy. Where every breath is filled with meaning. This is the life you've been searching for.
Welcome back. I'm still your host on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. My name is still Tony Akinyemi. I'm the lead pastor of the Shepherd's Flock International Church and the founder of the Rafa Institute of Healthy Living. I am an engineer, a theologian, and a nutritional consultant. And we're talking about your food and your health. And we're looking at fruits in general and berries in particular. I have tagged this segment Berry Nutritious Berries. We've talked about 8 different berries, their nutritional benefits and their medicinal benefits. And we're on the 9th one, which is the elderberry. Now, elderberries are traditionally used to address coughs, colds, flu, bacterial infections, viral infections, tonsillitis, that's inflammation of the tonsils, and as well as to lower cholesterol. In fact, elderberry juice was used to treat a flu epidemic in Panama in the year 1995. So it's not unlikely that when you go to many health stores, you will find elderberry syrup because of its antibacterial effect and its soothing effect, particularly for colds and coughs and flu. All right. Now, elderberry is indicated also for HIV, for cancer, for asthma, for bronchitis. Again, as I always say, not one fruit or herb as a standalone can address cancer or some of these other conditions. They only bring their own bit to the table. In other words, they work in tandem with other substances. They work synergistically with other substances. They bring their own bit to the table. So don't just take only one of these things and think that that will cure cancer or HIV or any of these conditions for that matter. So when we say elderberry is also good for cancer, we're not saying elderberry alone can cure cancer. All right. Now, infusions of the fruit are said to be beneficial for nerve disorders, for back pain, and they have been used to reduce inflammation of the urinary tract and bladder. Now, the benefits of elderberry also includes positive effects for chronic conditions such as asthma, as well as diabetes. Now, most of these berries are fruits that diabetics can take readily without qualms, all right? Elderberry extract has been found to reduce the oxidation of, what they call bad cholesterol, LDL cholesterol. I've always posited that even though they call it bad cholesterol, it's not a bad thing because it plays some vital roles in our health, in our body, okay? But of course, when it's too high, it's not a good idea. So LDL cholesterol, and that helps to prevent some cardiovascular diseases. Elderberry juice can also help to improve, vision, especially night vision. Now, the best way to reap the benefits of elderberry is to drink about 10 ounces of elderberry juice daily. However, they say that large doses can cause diarrhea. You don't want watery stool, so limit the amount that you take. Now, let's move on to very nutritious berry number 10, and that is goji berries. Again, that's a very popular one, particularly in some quarters around the world. Goji berries, G-O-J-I, goji berries. Now, it is grown in Tibet and Nepal. Goji berries have been scientifically linked to possessing the ability to fight negative health conditions and protect the liver, in particular, from toxins or contaminants. Now, it is deep red in color. Goji berries are composed of 18 essential amino acids. They contain 21 trace minerals. They contain vitamins B1, B2, B6, and vitamin E. Goji berries also contain selenium, germanium, linoleic acid, and many more, amounts of beta-carotene even than carrot. If you have seen goji berries, dried one, tiny, red, and they taste nice, actually. I've eaten them, before. Goji berry is also called Chinese wolfberry. Some people call it mead berry, M-E-D-E berry. And they have been shown to promote longevity, to reverse aging. In other words, they have anti-aging effect. They have been, they also claim that goji berries can actually inhibit cancer growth, and it can provide a multitude of other extraordinary health benefits and healing benefits. Now, goji berries are super dense in antioxidants, particularly very high in carotenoids, such as beta-carotene and zeaxanthin. They contain trace minerals and other health-promoting phytonutrients. Now, we have said it over and over and over and over again that antioxidants help to neutralize free radicals. And this helps to reduce the risk of some serious diseases. All right? This may be one reason why people have used goji berries to treat many common health problems like diabetes, high blood pressure, fever, age-related eye problems, and so on. So eating foods that are high in antioxidants has been shown to slow the aging process over and over again. So in Asia, goji berries have been consumed for generations because they are generally considered the longevity fruit. Now, there is what is called the ORAC value of food items. Now, the ORAC scale shows goji berries have a higher antioxidant property, an antioxidant score than even strawberries and broccoli and grapes. So goji berries have been, prescribed by traditional herb therapists in China, in Tibet, in India, to achieve many health benefits, to inhibit cancer growth, to support normal liver and kidney function, to restore libido and improve fertility, to strengthen the legs, to boost the immune system, to improve eyesight, that is to protect the eyes against macular degeneration and against cataract, to improve blood circulation, and to promote longevity. Goji berries are super dense in antioxidants, particularly carotenoids, such as beta-carotene, zeaxanthin, all right, like I have said earlier. And so, including goji berries in your dietary fare is a very wonderful thing to do. There have also been several studies that suggest that goji berry, particularly the extracts, may prevent the growth of cancer cells, reduce blood glucose, lower blood cholesterol, boost brain health, and protect against, age-related neurological diseases such as Alzheimer's disease and dementia. It can also be effective, in aiding weight loss for those who want to lose weight. Now, there was a study that was published, in 1994 in the Chinese Journal of Oncology. Now, oncology is the field of medicine that deals with cancers. Cancer doctors are called oncologists. Okay, so in 1994, how many years ago is that? That's like 30 years ago, okay? The Chinese Journal of Oncology, this study was published in there. They found that 79 people with cancer responded better to their cancer treatment when goji berries were added to their diet. Patients that are taking a cancer drug together with goji berries actually were said to exhibit 250% higher recovery rate than patients taking the drug alone. So you can see that your food matters in your health as well as even your disease treatment. Now, the types of cancer that were shown to respond well to goji berries include malignant melanoma, renal cell, carcinoma. Melanomas usually affect the skin. We have skin cancers, then we have kidney cancer, renal cell carcinoma, then colorectal carcinoma, and then lung cancer, and nasopharyngeal carcinoma of the nose, throats, and what have you, and then malignant hydrothorax. Now, there may be some possible drug interactions with goji berries I must mention here. People who take anticoagulant drugs, or blood thinners, such as warfarin, Coumadin, or aspirin, please, you may want to avoid goji berries because there could be drug-food interaction there. Now, when it comes to interactions in drugs, there is what we call drug-drug interaction, where one drug is reacting with another drug and creating a third-party end product that can cause damage to the person who is taking the two drugs together at the same time. That's drug-drug interaction. There's also drug-food interaction. I mentioned grapes, or grapefruit rather the other time in the citrus family, grapefruit, that it has a high propensity to interact with many drugs. That is drug-food interaction. Goji berry is also another one that has a high propensity for interacting with blood thinners, okay? So if you're taking any blood thinner, please stay away from goji berry, all right? There's also drug-herb interaction. Those are typically 3 levels of interactions that you can find. That's why I always suggest that if you're taking any medication and you want to take herbal supplements or certain fruits that have a high propensity for interacting with drugs allow at least a 2-hour gap between when you take your fruit and when you take your pharmaceutical medication. Now, goji berries may also interact with diabetes drugs and blood pressure medications. So please, be very careful if you are on diabetic medication or blood pressure medications or blood thinners. Please stay away from goji berries, all right? Okay, so there are different ways that you can add goji berries to your diet if you are not taking any of those medications we have mentioned before, diabetic medications, blood pressure medications, and blood thinner. You can take goji berries and add them to your diet in various ways. You can blend it into your smoothies. You simply take some organic, fresh, or frozen goji berry fruit, blend it with your favorite, nut milk, like almond milk, tiger nut milk, coconut milk. You can add a scoop of goji berries. You can also add chia seeds, pomegranate powder, camu powder, and some superfood powders, such as living fuel products, like super greens, like super berries, like living protein. So to make your smoothie, that's one way to add goji berries to your diet. You can also add goji berries to your trail mixes, nut mixes. Of course, this is a no-brainer. You can add goji berries to your nuts, to your seeds, like pumpkin seed, sunflower seed, like cashew nuts, like raisins, and dried currants, and what have you, and form, a nut mix and just snack on it from time to time. That's how to get goji berry into your diet. You can also sprinkle goji berry to your granola or your cereal. You can add it to your granola. You can take a spoon or two and sprinkle them over any cereal that you're eating. It instantly increases the nutritional density of the cereal while delivering minerals like zinc and phosphorus. It's also rich in vitamin C and E in their natural plant forms, not in their synthetic forms. And then number 4, you can soak goji berries in water to create what is known as goji tea. When you soak goji berries in water, either cold water or hot water, goji berries will swell and release nutrients into the water. And they've been used for thousands of years in China to make a nutrition-rich fruity tea. You can do this at home in mere minutes. You can also mix goji berries with other teas that you might already enjoy. You can also bake goji berries into your breads and into your muffins, okay? Goji berries are more nutrient-dense when they are consumed raw, however, but they still pack an impressive nutritional profile when you use them to bake your pastries. And this means that you can mix them into recipes for your bread, for your energy bars, for your muffins, and more, and you will instantly enhance their nutritional density and their superfood powerhouse. In recent years, dried goji berries have become a popular health food, and goji juice has become an equally popular health beverage. Most goji berries sold around the world are packaged as dried berries. But think of them as superfood raisins, but of course they are slightly less moist. They have somewhat a sweet taste, but their taste is actually far more complex due to the symphony of nutrients and minerals that they deliver. Okay? Again, you can go online and do your own research to learn more about goji berries, and you will love it. Again, they may come as a little bit expensive, particularly when imported to other parts of the world. But in their native home countries, they're highly affordable. All right, the world is a global village, and again, you can lay your hands on goji berry, even here in Nigeria. I have seen it in quite a number of supermarkets around the country, particularly in major cities like Lagos, Abuja, and what have you. So this is how far we go today on berry nutritious berries, an aspect of our food and our health. We have looked at 10 different nutritious and medicinal berries, and I hope you can begin to look for them when you go for your next grocery shopping and add these things, or you just buy them in powdered form or supplement forms in capsules and add them to your dietary fare to enrich your nutrition, and your health will be the better for it. Thank you for spending your time with me this beautiful Monday evening or afternoon, wherever you are. May the Lord bless the rest of your week. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is always knowledge. To be informed is to be transformed. To be uninformed is to be deformed. And the Bible says, for by knowledge shall the just be delivered. Proverbs 11, you can read verses 8 and 9. And the Bible also says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea chapter 4 and verse number 6. Again, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. I pray that the nuggets you are receiving will liberate you from the damage that ignorance brings. Like one of my friends will always say, let us damage ignorance through knowledge. And when your ignorance is damaged, that ignorance will no longer be able to damage you. God bless you. I love you. Bye. See you same time, same platform next week.
In the depths of our darkest nights, where shadows loom and hope seems lost, there's a whisper of a promise. A promise of life, of freedom, of love. Life that overflows with purpose and joy, where every breath is filled with meaning. This is the life you've been searching for.